Hello everybody and welcome to yet another episode of For Honor Executions Graded, the series where I go through each For Honor hero, take a look at their unique executions, and give them a grade so that we can figure out just how good their executions are. For those of you who are new to the series, take a look in the upper right-hand corner of the screen right now or down in the description, and you'll be given a link to a video called That's an Execution, where I go through my grading rubric on how I look at all of these executions. And for those of you who do know what's going on but just need a quick refresher, I'll go over it very quickly. First of all, I grade on 4 criteria. I grade for lethality, how deadly is the execution. I grade for realism, how realistic is the execution, is this something that could actually be done. I grade for efficiency based on is this something you'd want to do in a battlefield scenario? Is it quick? Is it effective? And then finally for cool factor, just how enjoyable, cool, how does it fit their personality, that kind of thing. We've gone through a lot of heroes so far, guys. We've gone through all the vanguards, we've gone through all the assassins, now we're working on the heavies, and today we're looking at the heavy boy himself, the big man, Shugoki. Now, I am very excited to take a look at Shugoki. As a lot of people have pointed out, Shugoki's kind of unique in the sense that he isn't using a shield, and he's mostly just a smasher. He comes along with this huge old club, and he's just ready to smash people. And a lot of people have pointed out, since he's one of the only characters to use a blunt instrument instead of a bladed instrument, we need to take concussive force and all that kind of stuff into account when grading him. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how he does. For those of you who are watching this live, go ahead and post in chat how you think he's going to do, what you think his grade is going to be. And while you do that, we'll go ahead and get started. All right, guys, let's start with Shugoki. First up is Kinjute. All right, Kinjute is in reference to forbidden moves in sumo wrestling. Kinjute actually means forbidden. And yeah, it makes sense because both of the moves that are done here where he strikes him in the solar plexus and then holds him up by the throat and crushes it, both are illegal moves in sumo, so that works. He's also saying koremadeja, which means this is it, or this is as far as you go, that kind of thing. All right, well, let's grade it now. So for lethality, this is a 4 because you're crushing the throat. You're not going to be able to breathe, eat, drink, none of that. It's all done for you. You're basically dead. You're a potato. So that's a 4 for lethality. For realism, I'd say that's a 4 as well. I mean, Shugoki's incredibly strong for one thing, and also, you know, crushing the throat like that, it's not that difficult to do, so you could do it with your hands, I suppose. For efficiency, though, I did give it a 3. He's putting away his weapon, which is a problem for me. Now, normally I would give you a 1 for that, but I'll let it slide this time because the way he's holding up Warden, he could use Warden's body as a shield, like ways to protect him from other enemies that are nearby. So I'll let that slide to some degree. It still gives it a 3, though. And then for cool factor, I give it a 4. It's just really cool. I really like this execution. It's really awesome the way he does it. And, you know, I do like seeing him do this near ledges. Now, some people have told me in the past, hey, Raven, how come you're not counting ledge kills, you know? What if the execution is meant to be done near a ledge? Well, the problem is, with an execution like this, we see that they've killed the enemy before they ledge them. But if all you're saying is, no, they'll die by being thrown off the ledge, that it's best to be done near a ledge, all I can say is, well, then I can't consider the execution itself lethal. The hero is not lethal. The hero is not deadly. The gravity was, and I know how deadly gravity is. How can I judge the hero for their lethality and skill if they kill them via gravity? So that's why I look at that way. But this execution gets a 15 out of 16, which is a 94%. Next up is Nabario Kakuru. All right. I really like this execution. I've always really liked this one. For lethality, though, I do have to give it a 2. And I'll tell you why. When he knocks him off his feet, he slams the kanabo down. And if he slammed it down on his head, it'd be fine for me. It'd be 4. But he slams it on his chest and his arm. And, I mean, that could kill if you broke the rib and then the rib punctured something vital. But I can't guarantee that's what happened, so I can only assume that you probably crushed a rib there, or broke a rib at the very least. I can't say for sure that this killed, so that is a 2 for lethality. For realism, I gave it a 4, though. You could do this. This is something you could do. Knock someone off their feet with the kanabo and then slam it down. In fact, I give it a lot of credit for that circular spinning motion of the kanabo. That's how you'd want to use a kanabo, using the centrifugal spinning force of the club. For efficiency, I gave it a 3. It's good. It's definitely really good, but I don't like that little scraping part. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's cool, but it's unnecessary. You don't need to do that part. You can just lift up the kanabo club. And then for cool factor, I give it a 4. I really do like this execution. Like I said, it fits in the way a kanabo should be used. It shows a lot of power. I like Shugoki's sound effect when he does the attack. Boom! I really like that. Here. Yeah, I love that. I love it. It's so good. All right, so that gives this one a 13 out of 16, which is an 81%. Next is Smashing Success. Ooh, okay, so we've destroyed the head. That is a 4 out of 4 for lethality. I mean, if you destroy the head, they're dead. You know, that's the way I look at it. For realism, though, I do give it a 2. While we start off okay with the breaking of the legs, and while I will admit that with a kanabo you could probably break the skull or crush the skull, you would not pulverize a head. That's just not going to happen. It's not just going to magically disappear after you hit it. So that's a 2 for realism. For efficiency, I give it a 4. What I really like about this execution is not only how quick it is, but he makes sure that the opponent can't get away by breaking their legs. So that way, even if something happens to Shugoki and he can't finish the execution, his enemy's not going anywhere. They're done. They're going to stay right there on the ground because they aren't getting up. So I really like that. For cool factor, I gave it a 3. I do like this one. It's nice. It's just not as cool as the other ones that I saw. It's basically just break your leg, break your head. You know, that's what it looks like for me, which it's still good, just not my particular favorite, which gives this one another 13 out of 16, which is an 81%. Not bad at all, Goki. Next is Samurai Senton. Oh boy.
Tactical nuke incoming!
Oh man, okay, so this one's always been a bit of a joke. In fact, a couple of my fans have talked about if only you could play as a female Goki and do this execution. Oh, it'd be awful. Okay, so anyway, the head is pulverized by Shugoki's rump. So that is a 4 for lethality. That is definitely a 4 for lethality. For realism, though, it is a 2. You can't make the skull and the head disappear just by falling on it. So that is a 2 for realism. Sorry, it's just not going to work. Okay, and then for efficiency, that is also a 2. You put away your weapon and use your butt to do the damage. And unfortunately, you decided to sit down. You decided to plop down on the ground. That's exposing yourself. That's not a good thing. So that's a 2 for efficiency. For cool factor, though, I give it a 4. It is funny. This is a very, very funny execution, and I do enjoy it. I like doing it to others. In fact, if another Shugoki does it to me in a battle, I'll usually laugh about it because it's just funny. It's so weird. It's just like, yeah, I think I'll just jump and sit on your head. Like, what the heck? So that gives this one, unfortunately, a 12 out of 16, which is a 75%, which I'm a little disappointed about. I like this execution. But we got to stay consistent. Next up is Dyspepsia. Dyspepsia, if I recall correctly, basically means having an upset stomach or diarrhea or something like that. And judging from all the viscera that just flew around Warden's body there, I'm guessing that's what happened. I don't even know. All right, so Shugoki smashes into the solar plexus and then slams down on the back. For lethality, that is a 3. The strike to the gut would not kill. And then the strike to the buttocks, because that's where the kanabo lands, it strikes him in the buttocks. You might break the spine from that. You might break a few ribs from the smackdown, but it's not necessarily going to kill. I mean, I think it would have a good likelihood of killing, but I can't say for sure it would. So that's a 3 for lethality. For realism, that's a 4. You could definitely do this. I could totally see someone doing this. Maybe not getting the kanabo stuck in their butt, but you could definitely get this realistically. For efficiency, it's a 4. I like the fact that it was done so quickly. I like the fact that it was done with the weapon. And the slam down is very good. I actually like the fact that when he swings it down, you'll notice that his hands holding the handle the one that's further away, he brings it down to the tip. So yeah, that's a good way to swing it. So I'll give it that for sure. So that is efficiency of 4, and then for cool factor 3. Now I don't know. This one isn't doing it for me as well. It's good. Don't get me wrong. It's fine. There's nothing really all that wrong about it, but Yeah, it's not bad. It's just not enough. It doesn't wow me like the others. So that gives this one a 14 out of 16, which is an 88%. Next up is Doormat. Ooh. Yeah, Doormat. Okay, so for lethality, well, we have a 3 for this one. And I actually like this one a lot because if you look at it from the Warden's perspective, I mean, that's terrifying, first of all, but his head is still there. He didn't pulverize the head. He didn't destroy the head that time. So thank goodness. I'm actually very proud of this execution. He didn't just destroy the head with his foot. Thank you. So that's excellent, and I'll get back to that. But in terms of lethality, I have to give it a 3. You're breaking bones for sure, but you might survive that. It's very unlikely. If you have that many broken bones, the pain alone is going to be excruciating. But just stepping on the head, I don't think that would necessarily kill. It could, but not necessarily. For realism, though, it is a 4. You could do this. You could walk over somebody and stomp on their head. And I love the fact that the head didn't get destroyed. Thank you for that, Shugoki. I appreciate that. So that is a 4 for realism. For efficiency, I gave it a 4. What I like about this is that kanabo is still in his hand. He didn't put it away. And he is just basically walking over his opponent. He hasn't dropped his guard. He hasn't decided I'm no longer in this fight. And he's just walking over the enemy. I'm down with that. And then for cool factor, I also gave it a 4. I can't help it. I like this execution. It's just taking full advantage of Shugoki's massive girth. Okay, he's such a big boy. I love the fact that they're just taking full advantage of how huge he is and having him just walk on the opponent, which, as Lark likes to say, his boots were made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. He likes to do that. So, all right, so that gives this one a grade of 15 out of 16, which is a 94%. Not bad at all. Next up is Shugoki Smash. Ooh, okay. So, Shugoki Smash. For lethality, let me see it again. I'd like to think that would kill. I would like to think that. The whiplash alone would probably be very deadly, but I don't know for certain. I've never seen a human body get slung like that. That's part of it. Human bodies don't tend to be swung like that. I can't call it. It's a 3. It's got to be a 3 for lethality. I'm trying to think of it in terms of like what could I compare this to? Because usually when I look at lethality and I try to determine if something's lethal, I try to compare it to other situations or other moments in history or that I've seen or that I've experienced and try to say, would this kill? Would this be deadly? And I can't think of a single moment where I've seen someone whiplash like that in a throw, and I just cannot say, I just don't know. I want to think it will, but I've got to be consistent, so I'm going to give it a 3 because I just can't be sure. For realism, it's a 2. You couldn't do this one-handed. Even with someone as big as Goki, you could not grab someone by the ankle and sling them like that. I know it's a reference to the Hulk and what he did in Avengers, but you could not do that in real life. You don't have the strength for it. You would definitely not be able to do it one-handed if you did try it. So, sorry, I can't say that that's very realistic. For efficiency, I'll give it a 3. He didn't put down his weapon, and I mean, he's getting it done rather quickly, but I don't know. Like, you're taking the time to throw him when you could just crush his head with your kanabo. Like, I don't know. I'm not able to buy this as much in terms of efficiency. It's technically, I think the problem with this one is it's so comical. I mean, that does give it a 4 for cool factor. I think it's really funny. Like, it's a very funny execution, and I enjoy seeing it done. I enjoy doing it. So I do like this execution, but I think the fact that it's so goofy, so comical, it's hard for me to call it on anything else. Is it lethal? I don't know. It's so goofy, it's hard to tell how seriously I can take it. Is it realistic? Of course not. You couldn't actually do that. Is it efficient? I don't know. It's so silly. It's not the most efficient way to get the job done. So it's hard to say. But, I mean, it's definitely Shugoki. It fits who he is. But I got to give this one a 12 out of 16, which is a 75%. Next up is the Mountain. Wow. Okay, well, you've destroyed the head. That's another 4 for lethality. Definitely lethal. But for realism, it's a 1. You can't do that. You cannot destroy or pulverize a head with just your bare hands, crushing the head like that. That's not going to happen. I mean, you could cause a lot of pain doing that, but you're not going to destroy the head like that. So, no. For efficiency, also, it is a 1. Not only did you put away your weapon, which is a no-no for me, you're sacrificing the use of your hands to crush someone's head, and you're not even holding them up in front of your body as a means of a shield because they're sinking down and you're pushing them down. Yeah, not very efficient there. It's taking too much time to get done. Because here's the thing. You have a club. You could get the same result with your club. Why would you use your hands? I guess it's just to show off how cool you are, which is why it gets a 4 for cool factor. It's so cool. Shugoki's just crushing a man's head with his hands. It's I like it. I really do. But realism and efficiency scores are going to suffer because you can't do that. Nor should you. Which gives this execution a 10 out of 16, which is a 63%. Next is sit on it. Okay. For lethality, it's a 1. Yes, you're sitting on him, but you're sitting on his butt. You're not sitting on his back to crush his lungs. You're not sitting on his head to crush his head. You're sitting on his butt. He's struggling. And you gotta just smack him down. That's not gonna kill. That's not gonna kill. Like, no. No, that's not going to kill anybody. Like, really? Of all the things you've done. Look, I get the joke. Oh, he's heavy, and that means he's crushing him. Yeah, but he doesn't even sit on him that long. He doesn't even jump on him. He just sits. He doesn't jump. He doesn't belly flop. He just, I'm going to take a load off. No, it's not lethal. I'm sorry. That's a 1 for lethality. The only way I can see it as lethal is maybe, like, I guess because we see blood coming out of his mouth, maybe there's some kind of internal injury we don't know about, but I don't see it. I don't see how this is lethal. For realism though, I mean, yeah, you could sit on them. You could definitely sit on them. Like, I don't know why you would, but yeah, that's a 4 for realism. I'll give it that. For efficiency, it's a 1. You're sitting down. Why are you sitting down? It's not going to kill the enemy. Like, this isn't going to kill anybody. It's almost like you're just saying, I'm tired. I'm going to sit down for a minute. You're exposing yourself, and you're not sure you're going to kill your enemy, so that's an efficiency of 1 as well. And then for cool factor, I gave it a 2. The only thing about this execution that works is its comedy factor, but the joke is, ha ha ha, he's fat, ha 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 ha. But I don't know. It's not like Samurai Senton where he just literally jumps and then crash lands on their head. This is just, I'm sitting down now. It's like he's sitting in class. It's like he's in the classroom and the teacher says, okay, everyone take your seats. And he goes, okay. And then he sits on Warden and Warden makes a Squidward scream. You know, like it doesn't work. I'm sorry. That's a 2 for cool factor. So that gives this one an 8 out of 16, which is a 50%. Ouch. Next is 1-inch punch. Ooh. Yeah, that's another one that I think is a 1 for lethality. Can you kill by punching someone in the face? Yes, if you punch them in the right spot and in the right way. Neither is going on here. Plus, there's not enough, like, I get it. It's a reference to Bruce Lee's 1-inch punch. Well, first of all, it's not 1 inch. He drew back his hand. That's like maybe a foot or half a foot at most. This wouldn't kill. This might knock you out. This might hurt. It would not kill. So that's a 1 for lethality. For realism, it's a 4. That's a 4. You could totally do that. You could definitely hit someone like this. I don't know why you would. At most, they're probably going to go, ow, why'd you do that? But hey, you know, you could do that. For efficiency, that's a 4. I mean, you got it done fast. You didn't put down your weapon. You took care of this quick, but I just don't think that would kill. So, okay, 4 for efficiency. And then for cool factor, 1. I really don't like this one. This is one of the ones that I'm really like, why do you even have this one? It doesn't match with Shugoki at all. Like, it doesn't show off how big or beefy or strong he is. It's just like, I don't even see how this works. Besides, Bruce Lee wasn't even a sumo wrestler, nor was he Japanese. Bruce Lee was Chinese. Maybe you should have done this with like the Shaolin or the Tiandi or the Zhang or something, but not with Shugoki. So that gives this one, well, a 10 out of 16, which is a 63%. I don't like this one. Next up is pinch hitter. Well, the head came off, so that's a 4 for lethality. But for realism, well, you can't do that. It's a 1 for realism. Even with a really good kanabo and a good upward swing, you're not going to be able to rip the whole head off of your shoulders by just striking the chin real hard. What's more likely to happen is you're going to knock the body backwards. You're going to have the head whip back and your body's going to fly backwards. So the head isn't going to fly off like that. So that's a 1 for realism. For efficiency, it is a 3. It takes a little bit long for the wind up, but I mean, he got it done. He got it done. And then for cool factor, I gave it a 2. I'm just not a fan of this one. I like the centrifugal spin of the kanabo, but that's about it. I'm getting real sick of these executions where they just take the head off way too easy. And you know, the sad thing is I'm willing to buy a bit more in terms of like crushing the head or going for the head with the kanabo, because you know, it's a blunt instrument. You could do some damage even through armor with that thing. But there's just like the way the head just pops up like a cork out of a bottle. No, I'm not a fan of that. So that gives this one a 10 out of 16, which is a 63%. Sorry, just not as good. Next is burst your bubble. Ooh. And if you look very carefully, you'll see that the head is still intact. See? You can keep the head. You can keep the head there. It's fine. Burst your bubble. That gets a 4 for lethality. Like I said, you could use the kanabo to crush the head, and slamming it directly down like that, directly on top of the head, no doubt, you're going to crush the skull. You're going to break it into splinters. Going to cause massive contusions of the head. This man is dead. So that is a 4 for lethality. For realism, it's also a 4. You could do this. You could knock someone over. They'd fall to the ground. You crush their head with the kanabo. You could do that. For efficiency, it's a 4. Not only do you put your opponent on the ground, you used a creative way to use the kanabo to take them out, and then you're ready to move on. I love that. And then for cool factor, 4. I really like this one. It's creative, and I like the fact that it uses the kanabo to spear down the opponent. That's a unique way to use it. And I love the warden going, nope! I think that's funny. So yes, we finally got one. We got a 16 out of 16, which is a 100%. Finally, because Shugoki pulls out a 100. I love it. Next is break in half. All right, so that's a 3 for lethality. Again, you're striking down on the back, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. You could probably break the spine, which will probably paralyze, but I can't say it would absolutely kill. So that's a 3. For realism, it's a 4. You could 100% do this. In fact, this is kind of what I expect from a kanabo, if I'm being honest. For efficiency, that's another 4. I think that you hit them in the gut, you come to the side, you strike down, they're done. You're done, so you move on. For cool factor, I gave it a 3. It's kind of basic. That's the only problem I have with it. I mean, it's neat and it very much fits Shugoki, but it's just very basic. It's not as creative as I would like. But at the same time, I can't necessarily say how I would fix it either, because, hey, you know, there's no school like the old school, and this is definitely the old school. So I'll give it a 3 for that, which gives us a 14 out of 16, which is an 88%. I do like this execution. Please don't misunderstand me. Next is hip attack. Oh man. All right. So this is the first time I'm going to do this, and I'll explain why. For lethality, I award you no points. I do not even give you a 1. That is a 0. This has to be the most unlethal technique I've ever seen. You did not use the weapon to do the damage. You did not break anything. In fact, this is so bad. Like, you know, sometimes people will say, oh, come on, Raven, look, there's blood coming out of his mouth, or you see blood. There's not even blood here. There's no blood. Like, you can't even say that something internally was damaged or anything like that. He uses the kanabo to hit him in the nuts and then hit him in the face with his belly. Not even with his fist, with his belly. Do you realize how the strike doesn't even look deadly. It doesn't even look like it hurt. It doesn't even look like it hurt. Like, are you kidding? He just dropped dead. And I know, someone's going to say, Raven, you're not taking into account, like, the damage he took during the fight. I don't ever consider that. I have to consider the execution by its own merits, not by whatever happened before or after. I have to only look at it for this execution. And for this execution alone, a toddler would survive this. You're basically hitting them in the thigh or hitting them in the nuts, and then you're belly bopping them. Boop. No, that would not kill. That would not kill. I could take this and walk away. I could take that and get right back up and hit him again. This is ridiculous. Oh, man. For realism, yeah, 4. You could do this. You could 100% do this. Yeah, you could belly boop someone in the face, as stupid as that is. You could do it. For efficiency, 3, I guess. I kind of don't even want to give it a score for efficiency, but I guess you got it done quickly. Yeah, 3. And then for cool factor, I gave it a 1. And the only reason I gave it a 1, not a 0, is because I know there are people out there who like this. There are some people out there who think this is really funny because they're like, fat man hit you with belly. There are people out there who just, people who go, yeah, this is funny. I like this. And fine. You're free to like it. I hate it. It's a 1. Which gives this one an 8 out of 16, which is another 50%. This is terrible. Easily the worst yet. Oh my Lord. Next is Okemos Fling. All right, so for Okemos Fling, I gave that a 4 for lethality. You're spearing through the back of the throat, which is going to kill, no question. For realism, I gave it a 2. I mean, first of all, am I saying you couldn't spear someone through the back of the throat with your kanabo? I mean, you might be able to, but then belly flopping them off like that and sending them that far? What's the need with using your belly here, Shugoki? I don't think that's necessary. I gave that a 2. For efficiency, I gave it a 3. I mean, he does do it quickly. I don't like that he just leaves them to lean against his kanabo like that. That's kind of dumb, but hey, you speared him, you got the kill, and then you belly flopped him off. You're done. I guess it's kind of efficient the way he uses the kanabo, so I'll give you that. For cool factor, I gave it a 3. It's fine. It's okay. I don't have anything against it. It's just meh. It's just one of those things. So that gives this one a 12 out of 16, which is a 75%. Not a lot to say about this one. This one kind of baffles me, I'll be honest with you. But it's okay. Next is Bombastic. Wow. Okay. Well, for lethality, we can give it a 4. It looks like what he did was he planted the arrow directly into the chest. And if that hits the heart, which it looks like it did, that's a kill. So that's a 4. For realism, I give it a 2. Yeah, I mean, you might be able to do this. I don't know why you'd want to do this, but the biggest problems with it are you would not be able to stick the smoke bomb underneath the chin and have it stick there. That would not work, especially the way smoke bombs work. There's a lot of pressure coming out of the smoke bomb. And then pulling out your bow and arrow from nowhere to shoot like that, it seems kind of silly, but I'll give it a 2. You could maybe possibly do this. Just a lot of things. The stars need to align. For efficiency, I gave this a 0 again. Like, I'm not even kidding. This has to be one of the most inefficient executions I've ever seen. Not only did they put down their weapon, they pull out a smoke bomb to blind their opponent, making it harder for Shugoki to see, and then pulls out a bow and arrow to shoot him. All this time, I'm kind of like, wait a second. To kill this fool, you needed 3 weapons. You needed the kanabo to hit him in the gut. You needed the smoke bomb to disorient him. And then you needed the bow and arrow to finish him off. That is so inefficient. You have 1 killing tool, and you had to use 3 more. Like, just kanabo, smoke bomb, bow and arrow. I don't understand. Why couldn't you just kill him with the kanabo? If you had to use a feed execution, if you could use the bow and arrow, I wouldn't be upset. But why the smoke bomb? Did you need to try hard to make it different than what Kensei did? The smoke bomb doesn't even make sense. What's it for? It blocks your own vision. I don't know why you did that. That was dumb. And then for cool factor, I gave it a 1. I think it's dumb. I think it's really dumb. I don't know why you use a smoke bomb. So it comes down to this. Is it lethal? Yeah. Could it be done? Arguably. Is it efficient? No. Is it cool? Not really. So I don't like this one. And that gives this one a 7 out of 16, which is a 44%. Oh, it's bad. Look, I know there's some people who are going to get mad at me. Oh, Raven, you're just being way too anal here. You're being way too nitpicky. I'm sorry, but the fact remains, when you have a weapon as useful as the kanabo, why do you not only put it down, but whip out a smoke bomb and a bow and arrow to finish the job? How does that make any sense? If I had that club, do you realize how I would be smashing, okay? I would be vibe checking everyone on the enemy team with just that club alone. I would go full caveman. And this man says, nah, I'm going to smoke bomb you in the chin. No idea how you're holding it there. And then I'll shoot you with an arrow. You know what? If all he did was shoot him with an arrow, kind of like what Kensei did, I wouldn't be this upset. But it makes no sense that you did that. I'm sorry, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. And finally, Kimarite. One of my brother's favorites, actually. All right, once again, we have a pulverized head. That is a 4 for lethality. For realism, it's a 1. You can't destroy the head with a stomp. Sorry, that's not happening. For efficiency, it's a 1. I mean, okay, so you put away your weapon, first of all. It's kind of stupid. I'm getting tired of you doing that. That's something that bothers me. Okay, so let's address the elephant in the room, or the Shugoki in the room, as it were. A lot of Shugoki's executions seem to have less to do with the kanabo and more to do with his weight. A lot of these executions seem to just be drawing on the fact that Shugoki is thick boy and he's going to use his weight to do a lot of the killing. And you know what? I wouldn't mind that every now and then, maybe with a few, like maybe 3 or 4 executions. But why does he keep putting away his kanabo to use his hands or to use his feet or to sit on people or to jump on people? At what point is he just going to drop all pretenses and just belly flop? Like, everything about Shugoki for several of his executions has less to do with the kanabo and more to do with I'm a thick man and I'm a fat boy. I'm kind of sick of that. We get it. He's huge, but you've got an awesome weapon. Use it. Oh, man. Okay. Sorry. Efficiency's 1. For cool factor, it is a 4. As much as I get tired of seeing the thick boys walk around like a thick boy, I can't deny this one's funny. I like the smack to the face. I like how he kind of moves his hand like, yeah, that felt good. I like whop, and then bam! I like that. I think that's really funny. It's one of Lark's favorites. Lark loves this execution. He just loves powering through people with this execution. So I'll give it that, which gives this execution a 10 out of 16, which is a 63%. All right, folks, we are all done grading Shugoki's unique executions, all 17 of them. So now the time has come. We take all of the executions total grades, we add them all up, we divide by 17, and we get our average score of, wait for it, 73%. 73. I am actually really surprised. I was very surprised. I thought that Shugoki was going to get a much higher score because of just how big, how powerful, how destructive he is. But what I really found disappointed me about his executions is none of them really had any consistency in terms of any category. For lethality, he did have a lot of high marks, but then there were quite a few that didn't get that high. Like literally, he had 3 that were so low, I was kind of surprised. For realism, whenever he seemed to get a lot of unrealistic executions. For efficiency, it was all over the map. With the cool factor, it was all over the map. Unfortunately for Shugoki, he really is average. I hate to say that about him because I love Shugoki, but in terms of executions, he's kind of average. The problem that I have with Shugoki is he is immensely strong, immensely powerful. And he has a weapon that I think is amazing for honor. The kanabo is a weapon that can do damage despite armor. You'd think he would take more advantage of that awesome weapon, but a bunch of his executions don't even involve him using the weapon. He puts away his kanabo for a lot of them. A lot of what he does seems to focus around his girth and his size, which for a few executions can be funny. It can be kind of silly. He can be kind of like, aha, he's thick, boy. But after a while, you start to wonder, okay, why does he even have the club? Why isn't he just going around just slamming people with his palms or fighting like a sumo wrestler? Why does he use his weapon at all? Like it starts to become a question. And the problem with that is if he's not going to use his weapon, that means we have to trust his body, his physical body to do the damage he needs to kill. And unfortunately, while the human body can kill, it's not always a guarantee. That's why we use weapons to ensure that we kill. So the problem with Shugoki was he put too much faith in his girth and his body to do the damage he needed to, and it can't be relied upon all the time to do that. But at the same time, a lot of his executions are not only funny, but they're entertaining, they're powerful. Some of them are really cool to watch. And I won't deny that, there's something very enjoyable about watching a Shugoki do an execution. But that wraps up this executions graded video. What do you guys think? Do you like how this score came out? How would you grade some of his executions? Let me know down in the comments below, but be respectful. And let me know which heavy you want me to take a look at next. And until then, I will see you in my next video. Take care.